We are counting down to India's union budget. It's special for a lot of reasons. For starters, this is the first budget in Prime Minister Modi's third term. It is also a coalition budget after 10 years. So everyone is wondering, what will it look like? What will the focus be? Well, growth is largely taken care of. India's GDP expanded by more than 8% in the last financial year, but inflation could be a worry. Even the Reserve Bank of India, the country's central bank, has flagged it. The RBI governor says growth has steadied, so his focus is unambiguously on inflation.
Because the law in our country, the Reserve Bank of India Act says that Reserve Bank is mandated to maintain price stability, and price stability in terms of maintaining inflation at 4%. So we are mandated is to maintain price stability, keeping in mind the objective of growth. So growth is holding steady. Now we have to therefore focus clearly and unambiguously on inflation.
Let's focus on two questions. What is driving India's inflation and what can the union budget do? Some numbers first. India's overall inflation has been below 6% since September last year. In June 2024, last month, it was 5.1%. Not ideal, but not bad either. The problem seems to be food inflation. Food inflation in India was 7.9% in May, but last month in June, it rose to 9.4%. And that's a significant rise. Most experts attribute it to the recent heat wave, much like last year. Last year's food inflation was also blamed on weather. So we assume that the price shock would be temporary. But the RBI disagrees. Look at their latest bulletin, and I'm quoting, "The argument that food price shocks are transitory does not seem to be borne out by the actual experience over the past 1 year. Too long a period for a shock to be termed as transitory." So India's food inflation is sticky. As a result, it is dragging overall prices. The RBI's inflation target is 4%, but like I said, the actual rate is over 5%. Can the budget do something about it? Well, India already spends a lot on food and its cultivation. Just look at the interim budget. Food and fertilizer subsidy made up 8% of total spending. Food alone was given $24 billion, and that was the interim projection. Now reports say that India will have to spend 11% more. In fact, the food subsidy bill has doubled in the last decade, which is a worry for the government. They have curbed the export of grains, they have targeted hoarders, they have extended free food programs. Yet, food inflation is sticky. So the only option is to keep at it, especially in the current political climate. You see, despite the win, the BJP suffered electoral reverses in the recent election. They are now preparing for state polls. Three state elections are lined up: Maharashtra, Haryana and Jharkhand. Now, 2 of these states have a BJP or allied government. So expect a minor dose of populism this time, maybe even tax cuts. Reports say the finance minister is considering incentives for the salaried class, basically putting more money in people's pockets. Having said that, there is a flip side to this. More spending can increase the country's deficit. It can also add to the overall inflation. So India needs a holistic approach to this problem. Take climate change, for example. It is not going anywhere. Our weather patterns will only get more unpredictable. So it's important to prepare our farmers, to shock-proof their output. Same with supply chains, things like transport and storage. A more efficient supply chain will reduce leakages, which means it will bring down prices. But to achieve all of this, you need investments. You must modernize the agro sector because free food programs are not a long-term solution. We have 1.4 billion mouths to feed. So food is a national security concern in India, and by extension, so is food inflation.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for a future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
Across continents, one powerful news source. bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment.
So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished. On the show today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies.